Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. Ours is a place where dreams take flight, voices are heard, and stories are shared. This is where cultures meet, connections are formed, and ideas are transformed into action. This is your destination for authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations. We're where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover our world of education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our USA Global TV channel and download our USA Global TV app. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. With heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, music scored by Yifei Tang from Cloud Road Music, creative direction by Paul Garcia, and I'm Al Cini, and I'm very proud to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. So join us here at USA Global TV and Radio. Make us your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Thank you for being a part of our global community. Let's inspire together.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. Maybe it's your first time here. We're thrilled to have you wherever you are in the world, whether you're watching us on the live or the replay, or you're listening to us on a podcast platform. Today in the United States is Labor Day. That's right. It's the first Labor Day was in September of 1882, from what I can see from my research. And Labor Day is a U.S. federal holiday celebrated on the first Monday of September each year. And it honors and recognizes American labor movement and the contributions that workers have made to the strength, prosperity, and well-being of this country. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. And today's topic is focusing on the star of our show, Mr. Roland Friedl, and his journey with USA Global TV and Radio. So Roland and I were introduced through John Christian, who had a TV show here about the journey of your life. And Roland happened to be a guest. I'll let him tell the rest of the story. And since then, we together and him separately have done hundreds of episodes here on different shows. You're watching one of them right now, the Mallorca Connection. Also, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle was right before this, and Talking Heads and the other shows that Roland will go into himself. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Roland Friedl, who is a mentor. He's my mentor for sure. He is also a TV show presenter and host. He's an author. He is a coach. He's worked with some of the biggest companies in the world, and he's an advocate for men and men's work. Welcome, Roland. Hello.
Hello, JACALYN. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. Thank you. And hello to our audience. Hello, and happy Labor Day in the U.S.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you. And we're both back after just doing the other show. And I'm really excited that you chose this topic, because that means a lot for you to share your story, that you feel so good about it. And that really puts some light and love in my heart as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, the title sounds a little bit, if I stop working. No, not at all. But I really want to do a recap of the last 4 years on the Mallorca Connection, because this will be the last Mallorca Connection show, not my last show on USA Global TV and Radio. We do other show. We do the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show weekly, and I bring a new show, but for this a little bit later. But I want to do a recap of the last 4 years, not only about the Mallorca Connection, but my wonderful journey on this broadcast station. And I'm so happy and so honored that this journey started 4 years ago, and I learned so much about myself. I learned about hosting, I learned about elevated listening, about moderating, doing interviews live on a TV station. I was always on stages live for thousands of people. I was presenting a keynote speaker or a top speaker on that, but never on TV. And it was an amazing journey. And as you said, it started 4 years ago when I was invited to be a guest on your show. And it was absolutely amazing. And I'm so happy to continue this trip, because I strongly believe the best is yet to come. Absolutely.
Thank you, Roland. I appreciate that. And it's because of people like you who started as a guest and then became a TV presenter and then a talking heads expert presenter, but really also my friend, which I think is really important. And it's so nice to have your friendship and your loyalty and your support, and also the great ideas that you come up with on a regular basis. And you've had several of them, especially some big ones lately. Do you want to talk a little bit about that when you're talking about your journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because for those who are the first time here on USA Global TV Radio, the first time here on the Mallorca Connection, why it's called the Mallorca Connection? Yeah, Mallorca is an island, a beautiful island in Europe, in Spain, and yeah, let's start a little bit in the beginning. So, I got a phone call from a friend of mine, John Christian, and we met many years ago on Paradise Island in an ashram. I was there for meditating and practice yoga. He did his karma yoga there, and yeah, we connected there. Then he visited me on the island of Mallorca, where I've been living for 14 years there. And then he gave me a call and said, "Hey, I do a show. It's not official launch, it's the broadcast station, but I do a show, the journey of my life, or something like that. And I want you on the show because you're a little bit crazy guy. You're a little bit different. You know, you're not going on a 9-to-5 job. You're working internationally. You travel around like a remote digital nomad and stuff like that." And I said, no, John. I said, no, I don't give any interviews to TV stations because I have very bad experience in the past in my home country when I was a top manager. And that they interviewed me. It was not live, and then they edited, and then the message was a totally different one. And then I said no again. And I also was live in a studio, and it was not my experience. And I said, no, that's different. You will see that's totally different. Trust me. And I said, yeah, I trust you. Okay, let's do it. But I'm not flying to the US. Don't have the time to go to New Jersey or wherever it is, or in Florida. I'm not. No. You can stream it. I said, what? Yeah, you can stream it. From home, from Mallorca. Yeah, that's how I was a show guest on Chan's show, and then you contacted me, Dr. JACALYN, and offered me the opportunity. And at the beginning, I felt very honored. To be honest, I feel very honored. And in the other way, I was, oh my God, I never did this. I have experience in talking on stages live for thousands of people. I did it internationally, not only small groups, really thousands of people in front of me. But as a TV is something different, especially when it's streaming TV. You don't see the audience, you don't see the reactions. It's good what you're doing or not. And I said, okay, maybe it's the same like talking on a huge stage. I was talking in front of 10,000, 15,000 people, and I didn't see the audience because all these lights, these flashes, you don't see anything. You're just sweating because there's a lot of light on you and it's warm, and you don't see the audience anyway in the dark room. But so I said, let's do it. And I said in the previous show, I learned from one of my role models, Richard Branson. He's a UK billionaire. He started with Virgin Records, and now it's Virgin Airlines, Virgin Hotels, and hundreds of Virgin companies worldwide. And he once had a quote, and I was reading his biography. And luckily, I got a used one, the first edition paperback. He had a quote, and he says, "When somebody offers you an opportunity, say yes and learn it later to do." And this made me thinking, because most people are really they don't even start because they've believed they're not good enough, they're not perfect. They always prepare, and then they die in beauty. And this quote is always in my head: if there's an opportunity and you love it, or meaning you love it, meaning you say it's interesting, you want to do it, and then learn it on the way. And that's how it started. And I don't know if you remember, Dr. JACALYN, because I started as a co-host together with you, the Mallorca Connection. I was so nervous. I don't know how many cups of coffees I had in my home in Mallorca. My dog, Abayomi, was quite old. He's not living anymore, but he was quite older. Then he was snoring beside me in my office. And I said, my gosh, hopefully you can hear the snoring. But it went well. But coming back to the Mallorca Connection, they recently, that's why we call it Mallorca Connection, because at the time I've been living on Mallorca. And so we said, let's call it Mallorca Connection. And as far as I remember, the first interview guests, our international interview guests, are also from Mallorca. I remember, yeah. That's why we call it Mallorca Connection. Yeah. I'm not there anymore, but yeah, it's still the Mallorca Connection.
And because of the beauty there that you had shared when you were doing your shows. I hope to go there one day. I think it looks like
Yeah,
a
you have to.
wonderful
Yeah,
place to visit.
yeah. It's the
So
same like Vienna, different, but on the beach, but as beautiful as like Vienna.
yeah, it's definitely on the list for sure. So you started 4 years ago and you were a guest, and then you started as a TV show host. Do you remember what your first show was?
I guess the first show was the Mallorca Connection, and I guess my first interview guest was Juanco. Juanco, a friend of mine. I think it was Juanco. He was operating hotels at the time, and we've been talking about hotel concepts. I guess it was Juanco. I guess it was the first time. I think so.
And you were with me because I was hosting the shows with you in the beginning.
All the time, yeah, because I started not as I started as a co-host. I started a co-host with you. I learned from you, and I started as a co-host, and we're still co-hosting this show. Yeah, this was my beginning, starting as a guest and as a co-host, and then later you offered me my own show, and I did Talking Heads. A beautiful experience, by the way, sharing my expertise, what I'm training international big companies in small episodes. It was business content. Then you offered me my first show by myself with 7 other men from different places in the world. We did 1 year. It was 47 shows, I think. The Wild at Heart show. And it was wild, but it was taken from the heart. It was a men's show. So I guess sometimes we've been 7 men from different countries: Egypt, Cuba, Mexico, the US, UK, Germany, myself, and I guess from Poland. Yeah, Marcin from Poland. So from different countries. And we've been talking very openly about men stuff. Yeah, the men show was my first show I did by myself, and I was hosting it by myself. And then I did the environment show, the Planet Earth show, the Earth show with Marcin a few parts. And then we started It's Your Healthy Lifestyle together. Yeah, and I love the show, by the way. I love the show. I really love the show, what we do together, Dr. JACALYN, to inspire people, not too sophisticated, but really with practical things that they can adapt on a daily basis to be, I would say happier, yeah, meaning healthier and fit, and yet they're more happy, of course, yeah.
Absolutely. And the Wild at Heart show, what was your experience like with that? Because you had to deal with multiple personalities, cultures, people from different parts of the world, different economies, different ways of doing things. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, this was a really challenging show because all 7 other men didn't know each other. So all of them are friends of mine, but they didn't know each other. So there were 2 guys from Egypt, half Muslim, half Christian, a guy from Mexico, some from Cuba, I guess from Cuba. From Cuba. Some are from the US, from the UK, from Poland, and Germany. Different types, different men, and different ages. And it was a little bit challenging because we always had a meeting, an online meeting before the show. We had a lot of discussions about what topic we are bringing. Can we say so? No, that's not correct. I don't know. I know that you did a women's program show. I don't know how with the girls, but men, everyone wants to lead. I mean, they accept him as a leader, but you had a lot of egos there. It was funny, don't it? And men are very competitive. But at the end, it was really cool. It was a cool show. And surprisingly, they really opened up very quick in front of thousands of people in international audience because we had topic like, I don't know, how much impact has my father on my masculinity, for example, or is, I don't know, beauty important for us, meaning self-care, or do we really look so much, watch so much porn? So really had topics, really topics, but they opened up. Yeah, and for me, it was, to be honest, Dr. JACALYN, for me, it was a really good learning to host a show with different guests from different backgrounds. It was challenging for me, but I learned a lot. Give everyone the space he needed, and yeah, was a good learning for me. I'm absolutely grateful for that.
Yeah, it was a really interesting show. I was sad when it ended. It's interesting because the women's show still goes on, and the women's show I think was started before the men's show, but we have a show called A Woman's Prerogative. And so what I decided to do, because at the time we had one of our full-time panelists was in New Zealand, and so we had to accommodate because we have people from the UK. So there's a big difference. New Zealand is, and she's in New Zealand now. I know she's in Australia now. She went New Zealand to Australia. So they're a day ahead of us. So we ended up breaking a woman's prerogative, breaking it up into 2 shows. So both shows are done here on this platform, one today and then one on Thursdays that I actually host.
Well, to be honest, I'm thinking since a month or two about bringing it back, but I'm not quite sure bring it back in English or maybe bring it back in German, but or maybe both. I don't know, but it's still in my head. It's still in my head because it was really a successful show. But at the time, after 47, I said it was quite a success. Let's stop it here. It was really good. Do a break and let's bring it back. But I'm still. We can discuss it later backwards. Backstage if we want to do it in German or English, something like that. But yeah, I guess it was a good show. It was really a good show. Absolutely.
It wasn't. I really
fun,
enjoyed. All the panelists were great, and I love the 2 guys from Egypt, Munir and Hassan. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, they were terrific. So you did that, and then what about on Talking Heads? What were some of the topics that you discussed? Do you remember?
Yes, yeah. I shared some of my trainings, my workshops I've been delivering for many years for international big tech companies like OpenText, Xerox, Sage, what else? Diebold Nixdorf, companies like that, and I chunked it down in smaller units because it was only a 20-minute, 25-minute show. So each workshop I split into 12, I guess in 10 to 12 pieces. And I've been talking about how to stay focused because many people are distracted by different things. So the prime issue is control of attention. This was one part, control of attention, how to stay focused, how to handle distraction, where they're coming from, what triggers you, how you recognize that you're triggered, what's impacting it, and how to stay focused, being on task. This was one show. Like I split it in 12 or 15 parts or stuff like that. Then I did a show. I said a series. I always split it, and it was about selling. Selling is a buying decision. The decision making cycle was one show, and as far I remember, I was also talking about making an effective team meetings and stuff like that. So it was business related. Actually, content that is content that I've been delivered many times, thousands of people in 3 languages on every continent except Australia. So I was in North America, South America, Europe, of course, Africa from the north to the south, Middle East and Asia, but never in Australia. Yeah, that's what the Talking Heads was, the business. Yes.
Yeah, and Talking Heads, for people who don't know, it's a lot of work because it's a presentation for 30 to 40 minutes, and you're spot on, full on the entire time with the presentation. There's no engagement with the audience and no guests. So I really appreciate all the episodes that you have out there. And Red is still going strong from the very beginning. He's still doing Talking Heads.
I know.
Three shows in a row on Thursdays, which I love. So. And so now you're going to be going in a new direction, bringing on some additional people to the platform, and you have a show starting on the 16th. So let's dive into that a little bit. I was hoping we could share a screenshot of it, but what is the title of it and what does it mean?
Okay. I try to share my screen, Bildschirm Thailand. Good. So I say share. Der Browser kann nicht auf. It says the browser cannot put it on. Oh, no, it's not working.
Yeah, we won't be able to show it, unfortunately.
It's not working. Anyway, so the idea is bringing a German-speaking show, and as I mentioned previously, I had on the Mallorca connection, I guess 4 people. Yes, I guess it was 4 people. I did an interview with them, but they asked me, because their native language is not English, it's German, they would love to join as an interview guest, but they feel more safe or secure in speaking their own language in German. So I did the interview. I introduced the show in English, but I did the interview in German. And from that on came the idea of it, because I love, I'm now 4 years with USA Global TV and Radio. I'm 100% loyal. I love the concept. the friendship with you, Dr. JACALYN, and I was so happy to meet you in person in Vienna finally this year, and all the other colleagues, like Red and Alcini and Dr. J, many. If I don't mention you, don't be. But many other colleagues here on the show that I learned. Ian Pelham-Turner, Simon McDonald, many others, and it really is a cool family. So much experience, so much knowledge that is just shared here for free to a broad audience to give hope, inspiration, and motivation. And I thought it's time to go international. And I know many people speak English, but we have many people who have a lot of experience and knowledge who is interesting to share, but they feel more comfortable in the mother language. And so I came up with the idea to go international and start with German-speaking shows. And I'm very happy that this was a snowball that started rolling down the hill and become bigger and larger. So I know that somebody started with French-speaking shows. I guess somebody's speaking in Polish, and we will more come. And I guess it's time to go international. And because we know that we have people from, I guess, 64 countries who are streaming, and people are joining us. And so, yeah, on the 16th of September, Tuesday, I'm going to start a show together with a friend of mine, a business partner. Actually, she's from Belgium, from a German-speaking part in Belgium. We do a show. It's called the Moedmacher Show. For English people, it's called the Encouragers. It's about bringing hope and inspiration to people. Because in our daily work, what we do together, Miki and myself, is that we see that a lot of people, because of the circumstance of the last year, the pandemic, then we have a war here in Europe, the Ukraine-Russian war. I don't know if you realize it in the US. Energy crisis, prices up in Europe, very high. A lot of companies went bankrupt. Huge companies fire thousands of people every month, thousands and thousands of people. The automotive industry in Germany is almost down, so thousands of people are fired. There's not much in the mainstream media, but we have them. So unemployment rate is very high in Europe. Economy is down. It's decreasing. It's not increasing anymore. So it's really severe here. Unfortunately, it's not the mainstream media, but people are suffering. And when you go shopping in a supermarket, everything is very expensive here. So people are scared. They feel insecure. They don't have direction, and they don't know what to do. And so we said, okay, let's bring up. That's what we do. We do coaching, and by the way, we bring up a workshop end of October, die Mutmacher, in a venue, and let's do a TV show about that, and spread the message and give hope and inspiration to our German-speaking people. Doesn't mean that the French people, Spanish people, Italian people, Japanese people, or American people don't need hope and inspiration, but we do it in German. We get myself together, and we do it daily weekly. Sorry, not daily. Weekly, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. East Standard Time for the US people. I know that there are people speaking in the US. A lot of Germans and Austrians live in the US. And it's 8 p.m. Central European Time Tuesday. And it's called the Mutmacher Show. And we will bring different topics. To be honest, I already have 47 topics written down, so I have shows. And we talked about 47 shows on Wilder Time, and I'm not going to stop afterwards. Okay, it's the same figure. I just realized. So I have topics for 47 shows already prepared, and a list of interview guests. So once a week, we want to bring a special guest, maybe somebody who wants to inspire you too, bringing courage too. But we also want to bring people on the show who started something new, maybe out of a crisis, out of a decision, and put all their encouragement together, despite all their fears and anxiety they had at the beginning, and started something new, whatever it is. And they should be going to share their story to inspire you and say, okay, when she did it or he did it, I can make it too. That's about the show, bringing inspiration, hope, clarity, and direction to people in these days. That's going to be the Mutmacher Show, the Encouragers.
I love the fact that you have 47 shows already planned out. That's great. That's terrific. Very good. So what would you say for anyone out there who's interested in becoming a TV show host? You mentioned that you didn't have experience, but you did speak to thousands of people on worldwide platforms. So what are some of the things that you think people need to have in order to be an effective TV show host? Some of the traits.
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, it's different than speaking on a stage, because on a stage you see the audience, right? You see the reactions. When you make a joke, you're laughing or not. Anyway, so what you need, I think the most important thing is your why. Why you're doing this. For me, it always starts with why. Why are you doing this? Why you want to be in? For me, what was maybe I start with myself. What was the why? I said, cool. Why not? I love challenges. I love challenges. I love to sweat, to be nervous. I love that I can't sleep for days. I love that I went to the toilet all the time. I love this because it says, okay, because when body is reacting, I know, okay, Roland, something is coming. You're learning something. You're getting out of your comfort zone. You learn something new. You grow, and that's what I love. I love growth. So what you bring is your why. Why are you doing this? And for me, it was I want to try something new. I want to learn it. Why not? I want to learn it. It was for me, and I think could be a strong why for other people. You get more visibility. Maybe you have a certain skill, a certain service, a certain product that could bring value to many, many people, but you don't have really visibility. So you can really build up your reputation, your visibility with your name, with your brand, with your product and service. That's one point. Maybe you already have visibility, but you want to learn something new and want to do something additional and become a TV host with your topic that maybe it's not about your business stuff. Maybe it's something totally different you do want to talk about because that drives you, that motivates you. You want to share this with your audience, whatever it is that brings value to the people. So the why, I think, is the most important thing. The second thing is, I guess what you need is, I think it was very, very important. It's not the talking. That sounds maybe a little bit weird. It's not about talking. I know most people are very scared talking in public. I train thousands and thousands and thousands of people worldwide in 3 languages, and always when we do, you really know this role exercises. People have to stand up and talk in front of their peer group, or somebody has to talk. I don't know, at a birthday party. What most people fear is talking in public. And there was a study out many, many years ago. I guess it was a Stanford study, or I'm not quite sure, a Harvard study. Even top managers, making $1 million a year, the thing they scare most is talking in public. But it's not about a topic. It's not about the talking in the beginning. I strongly believe that the most important thing is the listening. Because I see that people standing in front of a camera or whatever, and they talk. And they don't listen to the audience, or they don't listen to the interview guests. It's about listening. I think it's very, very important to become a good TV presenter, a good TV host, moderator. Of course it's talking, but you will learn the talking by practicing. But I think a critical skill is listening. Really enhance, improve your listening skills. And as far as I know, well, I joined the course, and it's for everyone here. We offer this for everyone who is starting here as a TV show, experienced or non-experienced, doesn't matter. Join the listening course, the elevated listening course that is offered here by Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and it's a good start. So it's about the skills, listening first and then talking, because we have 2 ears, 1 mouth. It's the listening skills, then it's the talking skill, then it's the talking skills, and at the end, and then prepare yourself. Really get prepared into the show. Have a chat. If you have an interguest, be prepared with your interguest. Maybe you come around with 5, 6 main questions as a framework, and then you take it from there and then decide what we have. A main framework is really good. What I do is mostly when I don't have an interview guest, when I present a topic. So, for example, like I did on what you mentioned, Dr. JACALYN, on the talking heads, you don't have an interview guest, you're just presenting half an hour, something like that. I use a system, it's called the format system. So it's 4 stages. That's what I use, but it helps me to give me structure, and it also helps my audience to follow me, because the audience also needs some structure. Then be open-minded and look around what topic could be interesting. Get connected with your audience, and also encourage your audience to participate, to interact with you, and take it from there. I guess it's a good start, but there's more, of course. But I would say the why is very important, and then of course the why brings the what you're presenting, what you're going to talk about, and the how is, as I said, listening skills. Become an elevated listener, and then improve your talking skills by just talking and doing and becoming better and better.
Excellent. I would agree with all of those. And I would add a couple of more. I think my first thing that I would add is being curious, being really curious about what it is that people have to share. And that goes along with listening. So if you really are interested, it's going to come across that you are paying attention and that you care. And that's what we do here. We create a safe environment for people to be able to share. And I think the next thing is being coachable, being open to feedback. You know, how did I do today? Being open to that. What could I have done differently? What did I do well? And therefore we grow as a community. And I think that's the evolution I've seen really with all of our team members here. Everyone's open to feedback and people are interested in supporting one another, jumping in for one another. We've had many times when a show host had to cancel at the last minute because of an emergency, and another show host would step in and say, okay, let me take over. It's being part of a family as opposed to just being one off by yourself, that you belong to a community.
Yeah. And I think what's also important is just being authentic. Yeah, being authentic, because the audience will feel it, even if it's over the screen. So be authentic. Don't play a theater game or some drama or something like that, or a mess. So be authentic. That's one thing. And then be prepared. Be prepared, meaning have a good setup. That's what I always do, having a good setup. Make sure that you have a good Wi-Fi. That's something challenging for me as a trainer motor. So first of all, the first thing when I park my motorhome is I do a speed test. Okay, how the Wi-Fi is here. That's the first thing I do when I park my motor. Otherwise, drove up their antenna. If they can watch TV, I do a speed test. That's the first thing. So make sure that you have a good Wi-Fi. Secondly, have a good environment, so where there's nobody around you. My dog is here, but she's not barking. So maybe that you're by yourself. There's no noise around you. You're not disturbed. Nobody neck is running through the picture. It happened many times in remote TV shows. Not here using Global Radio, but as other shows. So be sure that no one is around you. There's no noise. Have a good setup. I think invest in a minimum standard gadgets. Like I bought a really large ring light. I bought a really large ring light because light is very important. I have a microphone Rode. It's really affordable, not very expensive. Have a good microphone. Have a good camera if the camera is not perfect on your computer. So set up, create your background picture, and look that everything is working good. So be really prepared. Don't do it in last minute, because when you're nervous, and then maybe the technique is not working and this is not working, and then you're late for the show, and then rushing in. And when you're rushing in, this is my own experience. Why I don't want to rush in, because when I rush something in, I'm not really present 100%, and then I'm not really an elevated listener when I have an interview guest, because I'm worrying about the technique or whatever. So take your time. It's not when your show starts, let's say at 1 p.m., prepare half an hour early at the latest. That's what I ever do. I set up here. I put up my setup together. I have a special task where I put on my computer, I put on my camera, check check the microphone, I put on the ring light. Of course, I forgot in the back there's a green screen. There's all you need, a green screen. So I fix my green screen. I make sure that the windows, everything is closed. There's no noise, no disturbance around me. And I dress up myself. So I have a t-shirt or shirt, whatever, dress up myself. I polish my glasses, and I always prepare myself with a glass of water, so I don't have a frog in my throat. So I have a glass of water, and I mute also very important, I mute my cell phone, of course. It's not off, because sometimes I know when the internet is breaking down. I know, for example, when we're doing a show together, we are communicating on the smartphone, but it's muted. So mute your cell phones or on your devices, so there's no disturbance at all. And then get ready. And then what I do before a show is I drink a lot before the show, but during the show too. I stand in front of the mirror in my bathroom, and I make some exercise, because sometimes I speak too fast, and then I open my mouth not good enough, and then it's difficult to understand me. So I stand in front of my mirror, and I make some mimics, and I stretch my gut and my lips and my mouth and everything. I do this. Check my voice, and then I'm ready to rock. Did I forget something? I don't know.
Absolutely not. I was laughing about the expressions you're making for the mirror because I do that too, and that reminds me of your friend Renee, our friend, I should say now, with yoga for face.
Yes, I learned this, and I did it always in the hotel before I was entering the stage when I was speaking as a keynote speaker on large stages. I was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's also good when you're you're going to sing. I know you have to warm up your vocals, and it's good for your neck, by the way, and also good to keep your face and your neck
Yeah, yeah,
muscles strong.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, then rock and
So
roll.
today we've been talking about your journey with USA Global TV and radio. So where's the journey going to go from here?
From here, I have no idea. No idea. I know that the best is yet to come. We go international now. I'm very, very happy that we go in German. I already been talking to some close friends who really can bring value to a broader audience, a German speaking audience, to bring them on their own show, of course. So they're gonna host their own shows and bring more people on. And that's my focus for the next months, because I strongly believe from my own experience, it's an amazing opportunity on personal growth. It's an amazing opportunity to build up, to broaden your visibility, get in touch with new people from our audience, but also within the USA Global TV and Radio family, connect with other people. It's about sharing, caring, and supporting each other. And I guess that's the journey for me. I hope we could continue with the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show, because I really love this show together with you, because it's so important. I'm very curious about my own show that we start with Miki in German, the Mutmacher show, and I guess there will more topics come, and maybe I don't know when the times allows it to bring the Wild at Heart show again, maybe in English or in German again. But yeah, for me, it's just the beginning. I don't know how to say in English. In German we say the Lehrjahre. I'm just checking my dictionary. What is in English? I guess what's the layer? Yeah. Okay, it's in English. Okay, my years of apprentice. You mean apprentice? Is it correct? My years of apprentice. My years of apprentice are just over after 4 years. Now I go to university and I dive deeper. I do it in German, and then hopefully I graduate as an international TV host here on USA Global TV Radio. Yeah, I think the first years are over. The first years of learning to walk, like a baby. I know, baby in the first 10, 12 months to learn to walk, to stand up. And I think, the first years are like being a baby and learn to walk here on a TV screen, in front of a TV screen. And now I'm going to high school. Yeah, the next years. That's how I see it.
That's terrific. Well, it's been quite a ride. I'm glad that it's been successful and that it's been thought-provoking and it's given you warmth inside your heart. And I'm glad that it's going to continue. So we'll look forward to seeing you for your German show and retiring this show. So this is the last episode, you're saying?
This is the last episode for a while. I do a break because I can at the moment I can only do shows in the week for the time. So it's a new German one, and it's Your Healthy Lifestyle that we're going to continue, because for me it's more important It's Your Healthy Lifestyle than the TMC, to be honest. And as I said, I want to invest more time in supporting other German, especially German-speaking men and women to get on their own show and to give them all my support and my experience I can give that helps them to be successful and to feel comfortable with themselves and their interview guests. That's where my focus is for the next months. And then of course I want to come back with the Mallorca Connection and with the Wild at Heart show. But I want to add something, and I want to mention something that is really, really important for me. Is all this, my shows and all the other shows, are only possible because you had a dream, you had a vision, you had an idea, you had a plan, your strategy, and you have been brave enough and do it, and just starting it and learning and becoming better. And you're really a role model for me, Dr. JACALYN. I'm so grateful for that. So the applause is for you. Absolutely, Dr. JACALYN. The applause is for you, because I wouldn't have all my shows and all my fun here without you. because you started here, and you're a role model for all of our myself and all other colleagues, and for those who are coming and joining on the family. So my deep thank is for you. Thank you, and for the
Thank
friendship, of
you.
course.
Thank you. That means a lot, especially as you know, the amount of time that it takes to do one show or two shows. And I know that people think that there's something, and again, judgment, right? There's something off with me. The fact that I get so much pleasure from doing this, and I'd rather do this than a lot of the things that people are doing in the summer. But I'm very happy with what I'm doing, and I really appreciate you and your loyalty and your professionalism. And you've taken an extensive amount of time out of your life for the last 4 years. Plus, since you're on the road living a wireless life, and you have to make sure that you have Wi-Fi and that everything is quiet and peaceful. So thank you for taking this journey with me, and thank you for continuing it and helping take us to the next level.
Absolutely. And sometimes it was a long and winding and a rough show. I guess 3 years ago somebody stole my Rolex before the show. Sometimes the police were knocking, you have to leave, or sometimes my auntie, when I stay in front of my aunt, is like, dinner is ready, come on. I'm not sure. I remember that, but I was on a camping site in Sicily. I'm going back this winter there to focus, and I said to support other people. And I know I have a good wife, and I can really work there. And there's an old guy, 80 something. He has a dog, and he always wants to go with Valora and work. And I told this guy, when my RV door is closed, it means closed. I'm working. And I was live on the show. We'll never forget this. And he was knocking on my door. My dog started barking. He was knocking on my door. I didn't open because it was live on the show. And then he tried to open the door. And my door is quite difficult to open. You need a trick. So he opened around my door. And what's going on? I gotta kick it out. I'm live here on TV. And then finally he opened the door, and he tried to bring Aloha out. And Aloha was quite under my studio, under my table. There's her place during my broadcasting. So she's lying under my legs, and he was rubbing in on his body because he realized I'm live on TV. He was rubbing in his body, in this 80-something-year-old man, and tried to get her collar and tried to get her out, and she was like this, and I was broadcasting all the time, and I couldn't look down. I remember when Aloha was a teenager. I guess she was 6 months. No, she was 8 months old, and I decided to leave Mallorca, and I had my studio on a platform and on a huge office. I have to share the story. And on the floor, there was a lot of paperwork prepared for the lawyer, because I had some fights with the house and stuff like that. So all the paperwork was on the floor behind me, where my studio was, in my office in Mallorca, in this huge house. And Aloha was never allowed to walk up on the first floor. She was never allowed. But she realized that she doesn't have my attention, because I was broadcasting live, but I could hear, because her nails have been a little low. She was tapping up the stairs, ding, 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 coming up. And when I was live on the show, I couldn't say anything to her. I couldn't move around my head. As I said, staying professional, because we're live on the show. And then she went over the papers prepared for the lawyer and did a large pee. Oh my gosh, it was like an ocean. She was peeing all over the paper. And I was still broadcasting on the show. So things can happen. Yeah, it's still fun.
No, you're right though. This show just continues on. Yeah, there's some funny things I could share too, but we're out of time. And Dr. Chan's coming up next with Talking Heads. So Roland, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for these last episodes of the Mallorca Connection. And we're looking forward to the German show and all the other content that you plan on bringing. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who would you like to reach out?
The best way is send me an email, and then we can make up a call or whatever. My email address is office@my name, rolandfriedl.com. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com, rolandfriedl.com, office@rolandfriedl.com. Everyone who wants to share, connect, and yeah, I'm always curious about people, where they're coming from, where they're heading to. Check out my website. It's rolandfriedl.com. There's all my stories, my customers, and there are also free links. SBS is my link to my business site, the Spark Performance Systems website. WLR is my coaching website, people who want to have a remote lifestyle. And Sparing for Men is the men's website where I'm doing my men's work. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And I hope I see you on the German-speaking show. If you speak German or understand German, or you have German friends or German family, recommend. We're starting Tuesday, September 16th, 2 p.m. East Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central European Time. I hope you join us there. And before we move also the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show from Monday to Tuesday. So at 1 p.m. East Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central European Time, we do the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. And don't worry, we still do it in English. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're signing off. Our next show is coming right up. We'll see you again. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.